In our math lessons, we've been learning about different shapes, right? Circles, rectangles, triangles, squares. And today's lesson is more about 3D shapes or solid shapes. All right, and we're going to learn about what a solid square is like, what a solid circle is like, and even what a solid triangle shape is like, okay? So let's start by looking at this, and we know that a square has 4 equal sides, right? And 4 vertices, just like that. And it's flat on our paper. Have you ever tried to draw a 3D square? Do you know what a 3D square is called? It's called a cube, right? Like, think about if you play a game that has dice, the dice are shaped like a cube. What else is shaped like a cube? Boxes are often shaped like cubes. But today I want to show you how you can draw a cube. Do you want to try it? Okay, watch. Let's start. You'll need some paper for this, okay? Any kind of scrap paper is fine. Start by drawing a square as best as you can, 4 equal sides. Then I want you to put a dot right in the middle of your square. Then we're going to draw a square starting at that dot, okay? So you're going to go up like that, and then over like that. See, and you can see kind of a little square right in the middle there. Then you're going to go up again, and then across. So you kind of made 2 boxes, 2 squares. Now take your pencil and go from this corner to this corner like this. And then I want you to go from this corner over to this corner like this. You do it a little darker. Then you're going to go from this corner here to this corner. And one more, you're going to go from this corner over to the dot. And look, when you're finished, you have a cube. That's how you draw a cube. So a square is flat, 2-dimensional. A cube, this is how you say cube. You spell cube like this. Remember how we talked about, what does this say right now? Cub. How do we make it say cube? We have to add a silent E to the end like this. And a silent E is so strong that it makes the U say its name. Instead of the umber sound, it says U. So instead of a cub, when we add the silent E, it says cube. See that? And you don't hear the E, and the U is long. It says its name, U, cube. So there you have a square and a cube. Now I'm going to move the paper over a little bit. And I'm going to show you how to draw. Well, you know how to draw a circle, right? Just like this. Try to make it as round and even as you can. This is a circle. Okay? Now it's 2-dimensional. If a circle is 3-dimensional, then we call it a sphere. A sphere, I'm gonna draw it down here because I have more room. You start by drawing another circle, and now I'm going to try to make it look three-dimensional like this. I'm going to go to the middle, and I'm going to go around like that, and then I'm going to do a dotted line around like that. Does that help you think of that circle as a sphere instead? It looks more like a ball, doesn't it? Like you could pick it up and hold it. This one looks flat. It's two-dimensional. This one is three-dimensional, and it's a sphere. And look how silly way that you spell sphere. Yeah, that's how you spell sphere. Remember how we talked about sometimes PH makes the F sound? In sphere, it does. If you take the S off, it says fear. Fear. When you put the S on it, it says sphere. Sphere. And a sphere is a 3D circle. Okay? So now we have our square and our circle. I'm going to move this over here and draw a rectangle. Remember, a rectangle is kind of like two long sides and two short sides. That's our rectangle. Sort of like an 11, and then you put a top and a bottom on it that's short. This is a rectangle. Let me write that small enough to fit in there. Rectangle. Now, the way that we can sort of make a 3D rectangle, I want you to kind of think of a soup can. A soup can is sort of like a 3D rectangle because it looks like this, and it has a rounded top and a rounded bottom like that. Okay? This is the two-dimensional rectangle. And a shape that's sort of close to a two-dimensional rectangle, only it's three-dimensional, is a cylinder. This is called a cylinder. Can you think of some things around your house that are shaped like cylinders? What about that thing that you're using to practice writing your shapes? Your pencil. That's kind of like a long cylinder, isn't it? Except it's got a pointed tip. But it's rounded and it's 3D. It's not just flat like a rectangle. No, it's three-dimensional. So we have our rectangle, our square, our circle. What other shape are we missing that we've learned about? I didn't give myself a whole lot of room, so I'm going to put it right up here. I'm going to make a triangle. Okay? A triangle is kind of like you're making the letter A, a big fat A, and then you put a line on the bottom, right? It's flat, it's two-dimensional. It's called a triangle. Did you draw one? Excellent. Now we're going to come way down here because I didn't leave myself very much room. And what thing do you think is shaped sort of like a two-dimensional triangle? You know, summer is coming and you kids like to eat ice cream, I know. When you get an ice cream cone, have you ever gotten a sugar cone? One that's shaped kind of like a triangle? I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to do the triangle upside down like this. And then I'm going to put a round opening on the top. Does that look familiar? It's kind of like a triangle, isn't it? This is two-dimensional. This one is three-dimensional or 3D, and it is called a cone. And you can remember that because we talked about ice cream cones, right? Ooh, did you notice? If I covered up, oh, I gotta find a blank sheet. If I covered up the E, what does this say right here? It says con. Con. How do we make it say cone? Remember what we did up here with the cub to make it say cube? That's right, we added a silent E at the end. So we turn this con into a cone because the silent E is so strong, it makes the O say its name. Instead of olive octopus O, it makes the O say name. It says its name. Cone. And the E is silent. So hey, look, we're learning math and we're learning reading. That's the way to do it. All right. So now you see all of these 3D shapes up here that we learned last week, the week before. They're flat. A rectangle, a square, a triangle, and a circle. And if we turn them into a three-dimensional shape, then our square becomes a cube, our circle becomes a sphere, and our rectangle becomes a cylinder, and our triangle becomes a cone. Those are the shapes that we're learning. You might have some fun today practicing those shapes, seeing if you can draw a two-dimensional and a three-dimensional, and then you can show your parents if you want. And after you've learned that, then you are ready for your math sheet. And this time it says, circle all the cones, cylinders, cubes, and spheres in the picture. I think that's going to be kind of fun. You can take your little paper that we drew together if you want to, this one, and set it next to your math paper and start with the cubes. Circle the things that are shaped like a cube. I see one that's very, very easy. I'm looking at this one. Maybe there's some more, you'll have to look. After you look for the cubes, then I want you to look for the spheres or the circles. Do you see some round ball-like shapes? I see a couple on there. Then you're going to look for rectangle or the cylinder shapes. There's quite a few. Look at the band players. They've got some cylinder shapes on their heads, and the drums are shaped like cylinders too, aren't they? Then I want you to look and see if you can find any cone shapes. Kind of like a triangle, only 3D. Find some cone shapes. And then I think you're done. Circle those shapes that you can find. And remember, sometimes a cylinder can be long and skinny like your pencil. I'm giving you some clues. Then you can turn to the next page on the back. And this, you look at it. What is this shape like? What 3D thing? A cube. You circle the things in this row that are shaped like the Jack-in-the-Box box. Then you circle the things in this row that are shaped like a soccer ball. And then you circle the things in this row that are shaped kind of like that vase. And when you're done with that, you can do this page, and it's the same. Look at the trash can, the recycled can actually. Circle the one that's shaped like a cylinder. Circle the one that's shaped like a sphere. Circle the one that's shaped like a cylinder. Okay? And then the last page, you're going to do some coloring. It says, color all the cubes yellow. Color all the cones red. Color all the spheres blue. And color all the cylinders orange. All right, that's a lot of directions to follow. Cubes are yellow, cones are red, spheres are blue, cylinders are orange. So, that's the last worksheet that you do for math, and then you are finished with your math lesson.